The next topic is things you won't hear your satnav say.
Don't be angry, but while you were getting petrol, I shagged your iPod.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
In 300 miles, you will realize this gimmicky voice was a terrible mistake.
At the next set of traffic lights, a cyclist is going to pull up next to you and give you a really dirty look like he's better than you. When the light turns green, let's see how good his balance is.
Turn right at the next junction for a bloody good dogging site.
I'll tell you what, darling, how about you get out of the car and let your husband park?
Turn right. Wrong. I didn't say satnav says.
Welcome to Joburg. Lock the doors, put on your bulletproof vest, and don't leave me here. If you go away and leave me here, I won't be here when you come back.
Bear left, and over to the right, squirrel!
Oh, you just turned me on. Hold on, I've got the map upside down.
Left. Left. Your girlfriend's left.
Next dinner party, you drink and I'll drive.
Did you turn the gas off? Did you lock the door? Did you? Did you? I reckon we should go back. I reckon we should go back.
Where the fuck are we?
Okay, here we go. The first subject is unlikely lines from a thriller.
Michael, Peter, David, Vladimir, I think we may have a spy in the organisation.
Give me the pentagon, then the triangle, and then the square.
Ah, Pussy Galore, Bond here. I've been told by my doctor that I need to contact all previous partners.
The owner of this motel dresses up as his mother and stabs people. But the guidebook says it's still better than the Ibis.
I want you to go to Warsaw, meet a man called Borislav. You'll then ask him why he didn't fix my plumbing before he left for home.
Miss Scarlett looked at him through the window. He had one massive testicle like a space hopper. That was why they called him Professor Plum.
This is no ordinary pen, Bond. Turn it upside down, the woman's clothes drop off and you can see her face.
Red or green, which do I cut? Come on, they're only peppers. How long is this salad going to take?
We need to find the third man. There's no way Amanda Holden will shag just two of us.
Here's Simon.
The Orient Express has been cancelled. However, there was a murder on the temporary Orient replacement bus.
I have amnesia. The tattoos on my body will tell me what happened. Dara was here.
I'd been a serial killer for 4 years, but they'd never given me a nickname. Then, You bite one guy in the ass, and suddenly you're the butt muncher.
Ah, the butt muncher's got me! The butt muncher's got me!
The next topic is America. Who wants to come in on that? Andy.
Well, their president is an idiot. That's all I've got on that one. No, this is the man, right, who wants to try and put a person on Mars by building a stopping-off station on the moon. Now, the moon is 378,000 kilometres away. Mars, 78 million kilometres away. Trying to put a person on Mars by building a stopping-off station on the moon is like going to New Zealand by building a stopping-off station at the end of your bloody garden.
Thank you very much, Andy. The subject is junk food. Russell.
Hello. Am I allowed to take this out? Or do I have to...
Go for it.
Slick. There was an amazing thing the other day. Apparently 15% of 2 to 11-year-olds in England are now obese, and the government's going to ban telly adverts of junk food till 9 o'clock so the kids can't watch. And you find yourself screaming at the telly, if your 2-year-old's obese, that isn't telly's fault, that's your fault. How can you possibly ban the adverts? Ban your fanny until you can look after what plops out of it. That is unbelievable. There's ways and means. My dad invented something, right, to make us eat our dinner. My sister would never eat it. She was like, no, it looks disgusting, Dad, no way to eat it, right? My dad invented something called the dinner witch. So, my sister was like, it looks disgusting. My dad would wink at me. I'd pop outside, ding-dong, on the doorbell. My dad would then look into my sister's 8-year-old face and go, oh, Kerry, who could that be? During dinner time, with your plate still so full. And I suppose it could be the dinner witch. At which point, my sister would like, slick.
Comedy Gold. Charles Clark. Away you go.
Exactly what I was hoping to get. Charles Clark, a man who's just been having a go at Gordon Brown, also having a go in the last 6 weeks at Tony Blair. Of course, this was the idiot, ladies and gentlemen, who actually mucked up with the foreign prisoners and deportation. He said he became aware of the problem in July 2005, but he only became fully aware of the problem in October 2005. Now, I don't know about you, if you've got a problem, how long it might take you to go from being aware of the problem to being fully aware of the problem. If it took you more than a day, you'd probably be quite disappointed. If it took you 4 months, you'd have thought he might have resigned straight away. Maybe that's why he's been having a go at Gordon Brown and Tony Blair over the last few weeks. He's only just become fully aware that he's been given the bloody sack.
Protest marches. Who's up first? Any come in protest?
Yeah.
Russell.
OK. The only protest march I went on the Countryside Alliance March. I'm not pro or anti-fox hunting. I just quite like watching posh people get beaten up. I know it's wrong, but if you can find me a more glorious noise than then I'll happily listen. Come on, it's going to be fun, isn't it? And it's just so much fun baiting right-wing people. What do you think about fox hunting? I'll tell you what I think. If we didn't chase the fox, the entire bloody country would be overpopulated by foxes. Is that what you want, some hideous land of the foxes? Me, unable to leave my house and fear a fox wandering up to me, stabbing me in the gizzards? Is that what you desire? Looking across my lawn to see fox upon fox, prowling along my paddock, flicking the V's at me, walking hand in hand with asylum seekers? Is that what you want?
Very good, Russell. Well done, Russell Howard. It's transport. Away you go.
We have had bus lanes. We have had cycle lanes. We have a new initiative, combined bus and cycle lanes. What a crap idea that is. If there are two things that should never go together, it would be like having a path in the jungle for walkers and lions. You may also have seen that on our public transport system we now have an advertising campaign. Please ask, is this your bag, to stop unattended packages? Now, quite who you're supposed to ask, is this your bag too, if the package is genuinely unattended. But as I remember rightly, the problem with the London bombings was not with unattended packages. The problem was very much with packages which were fricking attended. You'll hardly like to go up to somebody wearing a rucksack and go, is this your bag?
Well done, Andy Parsons.
OK, the topic is air travel. Who wants to come in on that?
I'll do that.
Russell.
My favourite story about air travel, there was a bloke a little while ago who got put in prison for 3 days because he refused to stop kissing his boyfriend on a plane flight to South Africa. How magic's that? You can't help but picture him dressed entirely in latex, you know, surrounded by a sea of Burberry on an EasyJet flight. All right, lads, I'm going to make this tense for you. Ramon, let's do the bad thing. Do you want to stop doing that? I'm trying to read Nuts magazine. Whatever. Stop doing that. It's not natural. You're flying.
Russell Howard, well done. The next topic is religion. Andy steps to the mic.
Muslims do take their religion very seriously, I think at least in part because they have to pray 5 times a day. Anything you've got to do 5 times a day, you tend to take pretty seriously. We are all supposed to eat 5 fruit and veg every day. Now, we struggle to do that, don't we? Now, imagine you had to eat those 5 fruit and veg at set times every day when some bloke up a tower started wailing fruit and veg at you. At which point you had to start reciting various passages from Delia Smith's healthy cookbook whilst pointing in the direction of Norwich.
Very good, Andy Parsons. OK, the first subject is street protesters. Can I have a volunteer talk about that?
I'll do that, Dara. Nation. So, I love street protesters, they're fantastic. The best I saw, there's a lovely old lady who, since the war in Iraq started, she stands outside the Bristol Hippodrome with a big sign that says, toot if you're anti-war. And if you drive past her and go, ha, she does this. Now, I'm not sure, I've made her leap many times. I don't know if I'm anti-war or really pro-pensioner leaping. You know, when you kind of go, why am I doing this? Ha, stop it! Nah, do it! They're everywhere, they're brilliant. There's a bloke that I saw the other day, you know, one of those religious godbotherers, it's fantastic, just with a loud hailer, just pointing at people running, you're going to hell, you're going to hell, you're going to hell. Everyone was freaked out, 2 goths delighted, that's a separate issue, but... He pointed at me and I was freaked out, and then he did something wonderful. He pointed at this really strutting black guy. I don't know why the fact that he's black made it cooler, but it really did, right? Pointed at it, went, you're going to hell. Without missing a beat, this bloke just went, no, mate, HMV. And he just sat there going, oh.
Well done, Russell Howard. It's health. Away you go.
Now, once again, they've been having a go this week, haven't they, about skinny models, saying that they give us a bad body image. Now, I'm not sure we're quite that insecure, are we? You know, I see a skinny model, I don't think, oh, I better go on a diet. I think, oh, there's a skinny model, I bet they're hungry. I think I'll have a pie.
And it's childhood.
So, I found this out this week, right, that we're giving happiness tests for 6-year-old kids. How ridiculous is that? My friend Wendy's a teacher. Twice a year, there you go. Are you happy? I've eaten my crayons. Which made me happy, so swings and roundabouts, really. Which I also like. It's just the most... Ridiculous idea, some bloke arrived. This is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. What makes you happy? You! Sneezing. You! I quite like tickling people. You! I like putting marbles up my brother's bum. Now, don't judge me. I did that once. I'm not showing off, but when you're 8 and your little brother's 6, the power you have is incredible. You've got to put some marbles up your bum. Why? If we get enough in there, you turn into a wizard. Fill me up! Fill me up! I will.
Well done, Russell. The first topic is transport. Andy.
Trains are overcrowded, but of course the train companies, they've got an answer for that, haven't they? What do they say? Well, they say, well, actually, overcrowding is quite a good safety measure because apparently during the Cannon Street rail crash, those passengers that were stood up like sardines, they were less badly injured than the ones who were sat down. Now, how can you justify something that's only any good in the event of a crash? And what are you supposed to do if your train isn't very crowded? Are you supposed to stand unnaturally close to people, going, I'm terribly sorry about this, but in the event of a crash, apparently, you're my airbag?
Well done, Andy Parsons. The next topic is education. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
I remember school being fun. I think my favourite moment ever in life, pretty much. There was a girl in our school called Lydia. She was trying to make her calculator work. She was repeatedly knocking it against a desk. And after about an hour, our teacher went, Lydia! How would you like it if I banged you against the desk? It's the greatest day of school. But now it's more sinister, isn't it? Like, they're now talking about teaching 5-year-olds sex education. Of course, people are very angry. It's disgusting! It's too much! Like, calm down. Not going to teach them technique. Right, this is how I like to do it, kids. That's right. Kids aren't going to run home, put dolls around a toy car and go, look, Mum, they're dogging, they're dogging. It's going to be some poor teacher trying to talk to 5-year-olds about love. Can you imagine a harder job? Hello, children. I'm here to teach you about love. Good luck with that, mate. I'm off to lick that tree.
Thank you very much. The subject is sport. Who wants to come in on that?
So, hey, Freddie Flintoff, how drunk would he have been on Monday night? That's all I've got on that one. We have got a great new British hope for our sport, though. Laura Robson, Britain's tennis, 15 years old, both her parents Australian. We don't mind immigration when they've got a bit of talent. We object to people sneaking into Britain on a rubber dinghy unless they can do it really bloody quickly.
Thank you very much, Andy Parsons. And the topic is joy.
Two very giddy albinos there. Do you know what gives me joy? People who are a bit different. I fell in love with my friend Tom, age 5. He stood up in the middle of a nativity play and went, well, enough's enough. What made it even better, he was the front end of a donkey. I like noises as well. I heard this in a supermarket the other day. Whee! I thought, I'm following that, right? It was an old man skidding on a trolley. He'd done the trolley gauntlet, just whee! Just this blur of giddy wrinkles. What made it even better, a security guard stopped him and went, oi, I've told you. How can that not make you happy? And sometimes we laugh at stuff that we shouldn't. Like, I was in a pub recently, I saw a full-size Jenga topple onto a pissed dwarf. Now, the head says no, the belly says yes! Laugh, Russell! Before the bricks hit his tiny face, he went, bloody hell. A bloke 2 seats along went, that was like 9/11. You're there going, oh, God.
Thank you very much, Russell. Andy, on the topic of smoking.
Yes. Now, the government, they've made a bit of a muck of this smoking ban. Basically, it looks like in England that they're only going to ban smoking in those pubs that serve food. So a lot of pubs in England have said, well, in which case we're going to ban food and keep smoking. You're now going to have to go outside for a pie. You're going to have occasional eaters nipping outside, trying to scrounge a spare lasagna. Of course, people are desperately trying to find out different ways of giving up smoking. You know, various things like acupuncture, of course, where people stick needles into people to make people feel better. As opposed, of course, to voodoo, where people stick needles into things that look like people, make people feel worse. Now, I was wondering, right, if you had a pair of identical twins and one of them had acupuncture, is the other one in a bit of trouble?
And it's etiquette.
I'm quite a socially awkward bloke. Oh, thanks for laughing at just that. I saw a girl on a train recently and she was eating a yoghurt, and for some reason my brain thought it would be a good idea to go, you know, that's very good for thrush. She'd suddenly go, oh, sit down, stranger. I can't help it. I drift in. Like, I was at a museum the other day. Everyone said, don't take photos, and I was taking a photo. A 9-year-old girl arrives, goes, what you doing? I'm taking a photo. She ran off. I'm off to tell the man. Now, the last thing you want to be doing is chasing a 9-year-old girl across a museum going, don't tell the man, don't tell the man. Added to the fact that when you catch her, you've got to go, I'll delete the photo. That doesn't look good.
Thank you very much. Welcome.
I would like to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, right, I don't wear any clothes in bed. That's all I've got on that one. The reason, of course, right, if anybody breaks in, I figure I'm a little more scary in the altogether than I would be if I was wearing my paisley pyjamas. Obviously, I'd be even scarier wearing a gimp mask. Going, I'm so glad you've broken in. I've been looking forward to this moment for many years.
The subject is young people. Ross.
Funky young people. You know, it's depressing being hit. I saw this the other day, it nearly killed me. It's a kid who was about 8 years old in a cafe with his mum. He went, here, Mum, doesn't matter how many of these you eat. He was eating a fun-sized Mars bar. Doesn't matter how many of these you eat, it never leads to fun. How depressing is that? It's not a happy meal. Life is suffering, Russell. Life is suffering. It shouldn't be like that when you're 8. When you're 8, you should be excited about the world. Can you remember the first time you saw a rainbow? Can you remember the giddy delirium in your mind? You're like, Dad, there's colours in the sky. I like the sky. I like colours. The two are combined. My mind is literally blown. I need answers, big man. I need answers. Well, that sun is called a rainbow. Oh, my God, it has a name. It has a name. This day can get no better. There's a pot of gold at the end of it. And it's guarded by a tiny leprechaun. Pull over, Dad. Pull over right now. Has anyone ever chased a rainbow? I did. You never forget it. I bet you didn't do this. Me and my little brother took a knife just in case the leprechaun acted up, right?
Thank you very much. Welcome. The subject is drugs. Who wants to come in with that? Andy.
So, drugs. The Home Office have in fact clarified apparently how many spliffs you can have on your person before you might be regarded as a dealer. Apparently the answer is 500. That's a fair amount of personal use, isn't it? You would have thought you could have 500 almost anything on you and be regarded as a dealer. If I had 500 hobnobs on me, I think you could regard me as pushing biscuits. Not that I know that much about drugs, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently the current trend amongst young people is to have an upper followed straight away by a downer just to take the edge off it. Why not just take a bit less of the upper? That to me would be like having a Red Bull and then having a Horlicks straight away afterwards.
Well done, Andy. And it's fitness.
Could have been camel toes. Now, I was in the gym the other day. I was in a locker room, and a 5-year-old boy ran in and jumped into a locker. Now, sometimes you know you're just going to have an incident, right? You could hear him in there giggling, like, and you knew what he was going to do. He was going to jump out and scare his mates, because his mates appeared seconds later, like, where's Stephen gone? Where's Stephen? He was there a minute ago. This is most irregular. Right? And he waited, not for his mates, but for 3 huge naked men. It was fantastic. They were kind of walking past, and this little kid leapt at those men like a cat with rabies. It was incredible, right? Just from nowhere, the noise they made, I've never heard a noise like it. They sounded like a tugboat getting molested. Like, His long-suffering dad is in the showers, obviously heard this and went, that'll be my bloody boy! Ran back, confronted this glowing hellbeast and went, Stephen, what have I told you about acting up in public? And this little kid cut his dad down with one very simple sentence. Dad, your willy's moving? You're just there going, oh, the world is a better place.
Thank you very much, Russell. It's education.
I am a little disappointed. I was hoping to get England as a topic. But yes, education. You may have seen that, in fact, our kids are now going to get taught atheism in the classroom. You would have thought that should be a fairly short lesson, wouldn't you? Hello, come in. There is no God. Same time next week.
The next topic is the consumer society. Russell.
It's all a bit much, isn't it? I went into a shop the other day that said, why not try a guilt-free wrap? You're like, don't make sandwiches evil. Sandwiches are lovely. The bacon sandwich, one of the loveliest things in the world. What is a bacon sandwich? Essentially, it's bread giving a dead pig a cuddle. It's a lovely thing. I love you, Mr. Pig. Why do the Jews hate me? It's lovely. I was really down about it, and then I saw this wonderful thing that I think could only happen in the West Country. The bloke behind the counter in this shop yawned. The bloke in front of him, who did not know him, popped his finger in his mouth and went, ooh, yawn rape, and I nearly died. I had never seen a yawn rape. And now you've learned about it, you can't not do it. You'll be on a bus, you'll see an old yawn rape, you can't help it. Did the bloke behind the counter headbutt him? No, he didn't. The bloke behind the counter giggled and went, it's a good job I didn't fart, wasn't it? And you're sat there going, well, the world is a better place.
Thank you very much, Russell. Unlikely chat-up lines.
No, should have gone to Specsavers.
My name's Ed. What's it short for? Dunno, it's just always been like that.
You had me at hello, which is why most of my friends think I'm a bit of a slag.
Your father must have been a thief, and I'm going to catch him. If it's the last thing I do, your father's got a present.
It's a loyalty card. Every 10 shags, I buy you a present.
Hey, are you a parking ticket? Because I picked you up on the street and now I can't afford to pay you.
Love is blind, and so am I. Now let me feel your face so I know you're not a munter. I'd say my approach to sex is a lot like the government's approach to Brexit. I go in hard and then pull out when I realise I have no idea what I'm doing.
Oh, so when you sit there seductively licking your lips, that's sexy. But when I do it, I'm weird and should get off your lips.
You look like like $1 million. Less impressive than you would have done 10 years ago.
I like my men like I like women.
Hey, girl, you must be tired, because you look real tired. Get some rest, lady.
Well, I hope you're nothing like my ex-girlfriend. She was so demanding. Always asked me to text her when I got in. That's how small my penis is.
So do you come here often? To this STD clinic?
If I could rearrange the alphabet, I'd put you and I together, which is why I was fired from my job as an English teacher.
Roses are red, violets are red, you are red, the sky is red, I'm bleeding in the eyes.
You've got an arse that just won't quit, despite calling an election and losing a majority.
You don't look like you did through the binoculars.
If I said you had a nice body, would you hold it against me? While I cry on your shoulder, I'm so lonely, God, I'm so lonely.
On a first date, I always like to go Dutch. I don't mean I split the bill, but I'll do some really kinky stuff in clogs.
I like my women like I like my coffee. Always getting my name wrong.
If you were on an Indian menu, you would have 3 chilies next to you, because you make me shit myself.
Whose number is up this week?
It's Carol Vorderman.
It is, of course, Carol.
Yeah,
Vorderman.
silly old cow.
Yeah, basically.
She got paid £900,000 a year. The people that won Countdown got a T-shirt and a dictionary.
That's true.
And she's only there because old people find it comforting to see the same face. Like, I think, should they be comforted? I'd like to see the person picking the letters dressed up as death. I'd have liked her to have stayed on, but just in a sort of couldn't care less, half-hearted way.
Yeah, that was fine,
You've got to get 10,000 with a 5, a 7, an M.
Why would she just be shuffling around in a dressing gown, just swigging from a can?
She imagines she's indispensable. Oh, they'll never be able to find a younger woman who can use a calculator.
Can I just say that I once got into a lift with Carol Vorderman, absolutely hilariously. I got into a lift, Vorderman was already in the lift, and she was at the numbers. And she was actually at the numbers in the lift, and she looked at me as if to say, I'm in control of these numbers. Where do you want to go? And I think if you can't make a joke at this moment in life, you're in real trouble. So I just went, I'll have one from the top and 5 from anywhere else.
And you got trapped in a lift.
Do you know who I was really panicking now? Because Des is gone and now Carol's gone. I reckon Dictionary Corner are shitting themselves. Do you think they're unionised?
I think they'll be very pleased to be unionised, because it's in fact a 9-letter word.
It was... That's quite good. That's really well done. Yeah.
In other news, what could happen to drunk air passengers in the future?
They might sober up.
Yeah.
They're complaining drunks are getting on planes. They make you wait for 2 hours in a pub. That's just a brilliant pub that happens to have good transport links.
It is true, though, isn't it? It's the only time you see people sort of 3 o'clock in the morning in an airport pub just going, oh, I'll have a bacon sandwich and 4 pints of Stella. That seems to make sense, doesn't it? We're here. As soon as you take away windows, all responsibility goes, doesn't it? It can be any time I want it to be.
Totally agree. I saw a guy, this was out of order, 7 a.m, having a Wagamama's. What the hell are you doing?
You're right, you're right.
What is going wrong in your life? There's a guy drinking Guinness, looking across, going, he's got problems.
It's only a problem on planes, though, is it? It's not a problem in airports, is it? And it's only a problem on planes if you get so drunk that you go, right, you, outside, now.
But they always say that people get drunk and try to open the doors. Presumably you can't actually open those doors.
I don't think someone can just run... The doors, obviously, they can be open, otherwise we'd all still be on the last plane we got onto. You can't, but you can't in a kind of a, hello, you're a very pretty... who says, whoa! That big roundy bun doesn't all... Give me a call! You're not wrong, perfect, James O'Reilly!
Things you wouldn't hear on the radio.
In that episode of the Hugh Dennis story, Hugh Dennis was played by Bruce Willis, Steve Punt was played by Hugh Dennis, and the band was Shawaddy Waddy.
You touch my turnips and I'll fuck you up.
And now for a travel update. There is an accident on the M1. It's a good one, so hurry up. There's flames and everything.
Next, a book at bedtime. Martin Jarvis reads the speeches of Hitler in a high-pitched girl's voice.
Good afternoon, this is Radio 4 and I have a regional accent.
Next on Radio 4, the dogging forecast.
Here on Traffic Watch, we're predicting long delays on the M4, where I'm about to hit my ex-wife's car with this helicopter.
And now it's the panel show where our panel try to stave off premature ejaculation. Yes, it's just a minute.
Good morning, this is Breakfast with Tony Blackburn. I'm not actually on the radio, I've broken into your kitchen. Do you want toast?
Next, more lesbian propaganda with Woman's Hour.
Well, you've certainly stumped the Gardener's Question Time panel. None of us know how to bring a fox to orgasm.
You're listening to Heart FM. The same 5 songs all day long.
6 a.m. Welcome to the breakfast show. Who's up at 6 a.m? My wife's leaving me. My dad didn't get up at 6 a.m. and he was a fucking minor.
OK, then that round the points go to Frankie, Hugh and Michael. The first subject is education. Who wants to go on that? Ramesh.
Well, as a vegan, I wanted to supplement my son's education, so I'm helping him to learn to read. That's one of the things that I'm doing, and helping your child to read is one of the most magical and rewarding things that you can do as a parent on day one. After that, it's one of the most frustrating, annoying, I'd rather punch myself in the face repeatedly than ever do this again activity that you can ever do. And let me tell you why. They do not care about making sense. Right? They'll just read all the easy words. When they get to one they don't know, instead of trying, they'll just look at the picture and just throw something random into the sentence without any regard for what effect that has on what they're saying. And I'm supposed to not get angry. I'm supposed to not get angry when my son goes, Jack went strawberry? How could that be what it said? How could it be Jack went strawberry? What are you talking about? What would that even look like? How could that be what it said? Tell me. I tell you what, you think that's what it said, you go strawberry now. Go on. Right, go strawberry. That's what you think it said. Stop crying, go strawberry. Go strawberry. Why don't you do it? Go kiwi then, I don't give a shit. You're not doing it, are you? I tell you why not, because it doesn't make any bloody sense. My wife thinks I'm overreacting.
Thank you very much, Robert. Middle class people don't want to self-identify as middle class. They, middle class want to be, because it's more authentic. Where it's, middle class is such a bland state of affairs.
It's not bland, is it? Have you tasted some of their food? What kind of flavours going on in there? It's not bland being middle class.
Have you mistaken middle class for Indian?
The naan's incredible. We call them nans. We was in Birmingham the other week doing a gig and you had cream on top of your goulash.
No, listen.
Hey.
Hang on, why are you eating goulash? Goulash is... it's meat in goulash.
I'm not that much of an idiot. It was vegetable goulash. Can I have a beef goulash, but hold the beef? Rob and I had an argument, a discussion about the fact that I thought it had combined so much with the goulash that it rendered the situation untenable. But Rob said, "You could have scooped that out, mate. I don't know what's wrong with you." It's not vegan. It's eating cream over here. I haven't even heard of it in Lewisham.
Oh, we're such great mates.
It's a natural banter, which is why we put 5 people in between the two of you. The first subject is education. Who wants to come in that? Ramesh.
I used to be a teacher, actually. I was a maths teacher. I wasn't a very good one. But as I found out, it doesn't actually matter. You can get away with it for quite a while. But the problem is, with Ofsted coming, you've got an Ofsted inspector in the back of your class. I've got to make sure I'm doing my job properly. Yeah? Got learning outcomes up on the board, Pythagoras and trigonometry flying all over the shop, knocking it out the park. Kid in the front row's got a question, I'm straight in there. Yes, Timothy? How can I help you? And then he'd go, why are you being weird? Right. So then I've got to convey to Timothy, without the inspector realising, that I am going to bloody end him. Right? Because of political correctness, all textbooks have got to be multicultural nowadays, which means that every single question in every single maths book has got to have a white kid and a black kid in it. Or a white kid and an Asian kid in it. Now, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't have wanted to hang out with a kid of another colour. If every time I met up with him, he wanted to do bloody maths. I don't know. The questions you get in these textbooks are amazing. You get questions like, Philip thinks that the answer is 8. Dilip thinks that the answer is 10. Which one is correct? And then a kid would put his hand up and he'd say, I think Dilip's correct. And I'd say, why? And he'd say, oh, because Asian kids are bods, aren't they? We had uniform at the school. I agree with uniform. The problem is they're very strict about it. We had a sixth form. Talking to sixth form lads about what they're wearing, absolutely not a problem. Got no issue with that. Talking to sixth form girls about what they're wearing, something I felt a lot less comfortable about. But what I actually found was if I just looked at them for long enough, they soon covered themselves up. I've actually just started pretending I'm Costa Rican. I will switch to whatever I need to, you know. In the cricket, I'm very Sri Lankan at the moment. During the Ashes, I pretended I was Aborigine. Like, I don't care. I will go wherever the results take me. He's basically made it fun for the Tories, because they could say anything they want. He's unelectable. So you can do whatever the hell you want, do you know what I mean? Like, we're going to kill everyone. Yeah, but I'd rather that than vote Ed Miliband. There continues to be heavy shelling here. Ramesh Ranganathan at the peanut factory. Is it what the minimum prison sentence should be for anybody that takes their shirt off in the summer? I find it unacceptable. I remember, like, when When it used to be hot days, my dad would open up the curtains first thing in the morning and say, the white people are going to get naked today.
The first subject is going out. Who wants to come out? Ramesh.
I don't like going out. Don't like going out because I don't look as good as I used to, and I worry about it. I've put on weight, and I think, oh, I don't look all right. And then I think, hold on a minute, I'm married. I don't need to look good. I just need to look better than the prospect of single parenting. And I think I've got that in the tank, you know what I mean? I went out a while ago, and I was out with my friends. We're all in our 30s. We look like awful tribute acts of us in our 20s, and there's guys there, they're in their 20s, looking ripped and amazing, and I'm thinking, are they going to make us feel bad? Are they going to make us feel awkward? Are they going to make us feel like we're stepping on their turf? And the truth is, they ignore us. Of course they do. Why would they care? See a pride of lions hunting gazelle, they're not going to give a shit when a three-legged hyena rocks up, are they? Comes to the end of the night, this absolutely gorgeous girl walks up to me, does not break eye contact for a second. I said, hello, this is happening. Can phone my wife, tell her I've still got it. The girl walks up to me, says to me, no word of a lie, taxi for Rachel. Just this morning, we confiscated a bag of cannabis, and now we're asking all students to come forward if they've got Pringles. Have you had an accident that wasn't your fault and has ruined your life? Next time, use Durex.
The topic is animals.
I'm into animal rights, actually. I recently watched this film, Blackfish, which is about this killer whale that ate two of the trainers at SeaWorld, killed two of the members of staff at SeaWorld. And it's an interesting film, but I do have some issues with it. You know, one of the things they say in the film is we call them orcas. Some people call them killer whales, but these are beautiful, beautiful orcas. We call them orcas. This one killed two people. Right? That's a killer whale, right? He lost the right to be called orca when he slaughtered two people, yeah? And people are surprised by what happened. People are surprised by what happened. They say, oh, my God, I can't believe what's happened at SeaWorld. I can't believe that one of the killer whales tried to eat one of the trainers. Listen, that's not a surprise. I'm a vegan, right? If you make me dance with a sausage on my nose for long enough, eventually I will try the bloody sausage, right? I don't think that's a surprise. And the film is presenting obvious stuff. I was talking to an intelligent person about Blackfish. He said to me, I can't believe what's going on at SeaWorld. It's disgusting. I can't believe they kidnapped them from the wild. How else did you think that they got them? Did you think there was some sort of recruitment drive? And the thing is, you know, is they want to set this whale free. They want to set Tilikum free because he killed two people. Because he killed two people, they want to set him free. I mean, that's the opposite of crime and punishment, isn't it? I mean, people say because he lives in such horrible conditions. Listen, people live in horrible conditions. We don't let them off for doing stuff. You don't say, oh, Derek here killed 6 people. We can't do anything about it because he lives in Hastings. I understand that because, like, if the cows farting is causing the problem, then surely eating them is the solution. I mean...
And the topic is parenting.
I'm a parent. You know, we had our first child, and our first child is such a lovely kid. You know, he always says please and thank you. He's such a wonderful, wonderful little boy. I said to my wife, do you know what? I think we might have mastered parenting. I think it's just about setting clear boundaries and being consistent. The second one, feral. Right. Like, I love him, but what a prick this kid is. Like, I love him, but what an unacceptable human being. Like, I love him, but I don't like him. You know, that's... Like, I'm going to have to say to him one day, you're a mistake. And not, like, in the way that the contraception went wrong. Like, the decision to have you was a mistake. Sometimes I want him to get hurt. There you go, I said it. Now, listen. I don't mean really hurt. I just mean a little bit. You know, because he doesn't listen, this kid. When I say to him, don't do that, dude, because if you do that, you're going to get hurt. And then he does it, and he doesn't get hurt. That pisses me off, right? Because that is life telling him that I'm full of shit. This kid's running with scissors with no consequences, do you know what I mean? I do think it is a weird strategy, because what you're saying is we're going to make it OK for you to park by a broken meter. So, you know, a solution seems to be fix the meters. Do you know what I mean? Rather than make it OK to park next to broken ones. It's like saying, well, you know, all the trains are late and we know they never arrive, you know, when they're supposed to. So what we've decided to do to tackle the problem, we've decided to abandon the concept of time. So nobody's ever going to be late for anything. We plan to replace the glass ceiling for women with something much easier to clean. Nick Clegg finally thinks he's stepping up to the plate, like Cameron's on the phone. Listen, my phone reception is a nightmare. We've got an important situation. Nick, I need you to step up. I need you to do the right thing. Can you get in touch with Vodafone and get this sorted out? Russell Crowe stars as Bob Marley. The accent's so offensive you won't even care that he blacked up. As I report from my 6th day here in war-torn Syria, I think the lesson learned is that I should never have called my producer a wanker. A UKIP film presentation, 101 damn Asians. Newark is actually an anagram of Nigel Farage's nickname.
What? Cron?
I love the way that they clapped at different times, just depending on how quickly they got it.
There is an element of chase going on there.
Come on. Well, I'm really sad to be leaving you as your maths teacher. I've got no idea why I've been made redundant, because I've always felt that I've given 110%. I think, you know, actually we should be talking about immigration now, because it's a good thing that he's put it on the table, because, you know, a lot of Europeans are coming into the country and taking jobs that my parents worked so hard to steal in the 70s. It's actually a very exciting game they play, where they just sit there for hours and see which one tries to rehydrate themselves first. Because when, I mean, again, speaking as a vegan, but my problem with it is... Are you a vegan? Listen, get on board, all right? Jesus. You guys disgust me. Yes. You cheese and meat-eating pricks.
Anyway, please, every part of the show, preface every topic we do with, as a vegan.
My point is, Dara, if I may...
The pizza!
Oh, mate, I'll tell you what, pizza, nightmare, right?
Of course, you've missed the main ingredient.
I love pizza, ordered a pizza, right, with no cheese, right? No cheese.
Yeah.
What I didn't realise is not only does cheese add flavour, it also has an adhesive quality. What I got was a box of bread with some vegetables in the corner of the box. The public have spoken, and they said that I'm a knob.
We're not interested, we're not engaged. I think they should combine the election of the leader of the European Commission with the Eurovision Song Contest. So,
How is combining two things that we're not interested in going to make it more interesting? The issue that I have is that, you know, UKIP sort of attracting votes from sort of the elderly. You know, that this is sort of who are increasingly supporting them. And the thing is that you get worried because you think, well, I've sort of had more racist experiences from elderly people, and you can sort of understand how this comes about. But I actually think that elderly people should just be allowed to be racist, because, like, they've got enough shit going on in their lives, like, without having to re-educate themselves. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've pissed myself, I've got 2 false hips, and now I can't say darky. Like, it's... I'm quite happy to make him feel comfortable, bump into an elderly person, just give him the old wobble head to make him feel all right.
Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is commercials that never made it to air.
Fungal foot problem.
Have you been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault? Of course you have, because that is the definition of an accident.
FIFA summer sofa sale. Total office clear out. Bribe now, pay later.
Andrex, because who wouldn't want to wipe their ass with a puppy?
Carlsberg don't do your girlfriend, but I have.
What's that? Yeah, mate, I got some bad news about your dad.
Why pay more for ratchet, trifling-ass pilots when you can get to where you're going on EasyJet? A basic bitch will get you there.
We call it a Happy Meal. The cow we killed wasn't too chuffed, though.
Waitrose, 2 for the price of 3.
We had debts all over the place, but Wonga took all those debts and put them in one simple loan. They also took our house. Are your vet's bills getting on top of you? Then why not try Dognatas?
Want to save money on biscuits? Easy. Give blood.
From Laboratoire Garnier, Paris. Because if we said it was from Unit 5 of a Luton industrial estate, you wouldn't buy it, would you?
Struggling to sleep? Why not try 10 cans of Stella?
Did you mistake your girlfriend for a burglar on Valentine's Day? Then you need to go to Specsavers.
I can't breathe! I can't breathe! The Lynx effect.
That one's accent is a bit more racist than that one's accent. There you go. Just compared the meerkats.
OK, the next topic is lines you wouldn't hear in a sci-fi movie.
Hi, is that NHS Direct? Yeah, a bit of a temperature and I've got an alien coming out of my stomach. 2 paracetamol, OK.
OK, Mr. Zulu. Set course for the 4th quadrant to the Orion Nebula. I think there's a Nando's there.
We're sorry to announce that there is a replacement beam down service this weekend between the ship and the planet Splooge.
You've got to imagine this in a Scottish accent. This is our Independence Day! There you go.
They abducted us and took us to their spacecraft, and then they explored our bodies with strange probes. I'll be honest, it was the best stag night I'd ever been on.
This man can now reach the full potential of his brain. Joey, wake up, you can tie your shoes. Reem.
What the people don't know, Captain Kirk, is that when I do that V thing, that means in Vulcan, I've had your mum.
I think this time tunnel is broken. We have gone 1,000 years into the future and Bruce Forsyth is still working.
If you take the red pill, you will enter the Matrix. If you take the blue pill, you will have a boner for 7 hours.
This is it. The machines are taking over. Hashtag apocalypse.
Yeah, I've had a look at it, mate. The problem is your nano boosters are shot and your warp drive is fucked.
Our planet is dying. We seek a new home. Which of you is Phil and which of you is Kirsty?
The dinosaurs are killing everyone. Why do we keep reopening this park? Who keeps giving us public liability insurance?
So the plan is you get in the time machine, go back in time, and cock-block Hitler's dad.
Phone home. Phone in Joan. No, phone home.
OK, at the end of that, the points go to Matt, Catherine and Andy. Do you enjoy Christmas? Do you like the holiday season?
Why isn't there any decoration on the set?
I know, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Without any decoration, boys?
Oh.
Yeah! Christmas is here!
Nothing.
That's...
Nothing makes Christmas more than a miserable Scot just going...
Do it now. This should be the opening of the Olympic ceremony. That'll be good.
What, do you enjoy the Christmas?
I hate Christmas. It's like the opening sequence of Saving Private Ryan, except every third person is a woman puking into a handbag. People queuing to get into Yates's wine lodge. That sums up Christmas. You're queuing to get into somewhere shit. Just women who are praying for the invention of the morning after Bacardi Breezer.
You make Christmas specials a lot differently than we do in Australia.
Yeah.
Cynicism. This is the most miserable Christmas thing I've ever been involved in. This is my worst Christmas.
OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. First subject is sleep. Ebra.
Does anyone here sleep with someone who snores? Yes? Well, I envy you, because I lie awake next to someone who snores. My wife snores terribly, and part of what keeps me awake is lying there going, how do you sleep through this? I can't sleep through it, I'm only next to it. The noise is inside your head. And how come you can sleep through that? But the sound of me making a sandwich in our kitchen, that wakes you up. There is no way me making a sandwich makes more noise than you're making right now. She snores so... She said the cutest thing to me one time, though. She says, do I not sound like a kitten purring? Bless. No. You sound like a cat drowning in porridge. If I had a kitten made that noise, I'd put it down. Apparently she had her nose broken a couple of times when she was a kid. Didn't teach her, she's still bleeding snoring.
Thank you very much, Ed. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. And the first topic is home life. Nathan.
Yeah, I could talk about home life. I still live at home with my mum still. Thanks for the judgmental silence. Yeah, I live at home. My mates give me the most stick for it, because I'm the last one in my group of friends who still lives at home with my mum. They've all moved out, so they see me as a mummy's boy. And every time they see me, they're like, Nathan, what's wrong with you, man? Why are you still at your mum's, man? Aren't you embarrassed? Why are you still at your mum's? Why are you still at your mum's? It's like, I live in West London. Have you seen house prices? I'm not going anywhere, man. If anything, I'm looking at my mum thinking, when are you going to bloody leave? Clinging on, let it go, woman. She's gonna slap the black off me when she sees this. So yeah, I like peace and quiet. Although, to be honest, at home, I'm not getting a lot of peace and quiet at the moment, mainly because of my mum and my stepdad. They got married quite recently. And I'm happy for my mum. You know, she found happiness. She deserves it. However, at the moment, they're going through that honeymoon phase where they're having sex all the time. Yeah, it is bloody disturbing, man. Because my bedroom is, like, right next door. So, like, every time they do it, I hear everything. Like, a few Saturdays ago, right? It's late at night. I'm about to go to sleep. From next door, I can hear my stepdad going, oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, Lord, say something nasty, say something nasty, say something nasty. So I screamed out, you're not my real dad!
Thank you very much, Nathan Dayton. Now we play a round called Spinning the News, which involves everybody. So if you could all move over towards the performance area, please. We spin the wheel, and when it stops, anyone can step forward and try to make us laugh about the subject it's landed on. If I judge the player's got a big enough laugh, he or she gets to sit down again. The first team to have all its players sitting down at the desk wins the round. OK, let's have our first topic. It is, of course, national surveys. Anyone want to try something on that? Good man, Frankie.
They've done a survey in America that says that Osama bin Laden is now more famous than Michael Jackson. And you think, yeah, but he puts a lot less effort into his videos, doesn't he? It really freaked the Americans out if he just threw in a wee moonwalk now and again. Hey, more famous than Michael Jackson, but who would you rather have looking after your kids? They did a survey this week that said that 20% of British men have a problem with premature ejaculation. The others just don't think it's really a problem. Sex and on early nights. They brought out a condom for premature ejaculation, and basically it's got an anaesthetic in the lining, so it makes you numb and you can last for longer. Or you can wear it inside out and you don't have to wake anybody up.
Well done, Frankie, you can sit down. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The next topic is the Trafalgar celebrations. Rory's in.
Yeah, this was this week's naval review of Portsmouth, which is quite embarrassing for the Queen, because it just rubs in the fact that she hasn't got a ship. So they line up hundreds of ships and she goes, oh, that's a nice one. Oh, well, have you got one in another colour? Prince Philip loves these things because it gives him a chance to stand on a ship and shout, frigate! Look, Philip, mind you, no, frigate, there, frigate, next to that f***ing destroyer, right?
Very good, Rory, sit down, come on. We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Ivo, which category would you like?
I would like home news, please, Dara.
Home news it is. The answer is 1 year. What is the question?
What would be an appropriate prison sentence for people who use the phrase hollybobs?
Not the answer, but I'll take it.
Is it how long the BBC have left now they've lost Bake Off?
And the clock is already ticking. Yeah.
Is it in a Wetherspoon's kitchen? What is the chef's equivalent of the 5-second rule?
Is it Southern Rail's estimate for a London to Brighton journey?
Do people kiss goodbye to their children at a Southern Rail station and go, you look after your mum?
How long does it take to earn 100 quid if you work at Sports Direct?
How long does it take a YouTube clip to buffer at my parents' house?
How long would Charles Manson have gotten in prison if he'd been a promising swimmer?
Yeah, bit of truth.
Bit of politics there.
How long does Jeremy Hunt want junior doctors to work per week?
OK, so under Theresa May's education reforms, how much of a carefree childhood will children now be allowed?
How long would it take to rewatch all of Dara's TV appearances from the last month?
Thank you very much. If I make a joke about ISIS in the queue, how long will it take me to get through airport security?
OK, is that the correct answer?
I think, how long has Jeremy Corbyn been leader of the Labour Party?
It is indeed. Thank you very much, Judas. Well done. Yes, the question I was looking for was for how long has Jeremy Corbyn been leader of the Labour Party, and will he stay as leader of the Labour Party?
He's not had a very successful year, has he? Really, he moves forward with all the dynamism, energy, and impetus of a canal boat. But his followers really believe in him, to the extent that at the party conference they've now told the caterers just to provide loaves and fishes.
Jeremy Corbyn has got the look of a man who can survive 6 months on one Kendall mint cake.
If it was a computer game, he would be the last character that you would choose.
But in terms they understand, what Pokemon is he?
I would say he's Lickitung. You know, just sort of, like, quite sluggish.
Yeah. I feel he's more Magikarp. A flapping fish, you know, needs a lot of candy to upgrade.
I feel like my nightmare has finally come true. It has happened. I am sitting here and I do not understand what you are talking about.
And in your nightmare, were you dressed as a member of Mumford & Sons? Or one of the borrowers.
Shade at my waistcoat?
It's a little rural for you, that particular waistcoat. Have you come into some land?
Neither he or his challenger for the party leadership, Owen Smith, would make very good X-Men. Corbyn's superpower would be sitting in a corridor even though there are seats available. And Owen Smith's superpower would be, if he walks into a room, no one knows who he is.
Because Owen Smith, he looks like God's tried to make the most boring-looking man he can, and halfway through he got bored.
So, what else? In other health news? What health initiative is coming into schools?
Michael Gove is saying school lunches should be banned because apparently only 1% of them meet the nutritional requirements that school dinners are supposed to have.
Yes, that is generally the gist of it.
That's
right,
facts.
Yeah.
I don't have a joke.
Yeah, it's true. But it's only 1% of. I mean, what are people?
I don't like the story anyway. Is it just me? I don't want to think about Michael Gove's lunchbox. I just don't want to think about it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I presume people put it. And what are people putting into it? Like, are they only 1% of...
not the kind of stuff you see, this seems to me a very unfair story because they're saying that packed lunches are very unhealthy compared with school lunches. But they're not. I mean, when I only ever had packed lunches. I had brown bread sandwiches. I had 2 cubes of jelly.
What?
Yeah.
Jelly that wasn't made?
Jelly that wasn't made, because my mum didn't like giving us chocolate or sweets or something. So she used to cut up jelly. Yeah. She used to cut up a jelly, you know, the cube that you make it from, and give me 2 bits of it.
And
it was really nice, but for the rest of the day after I'd had it, I was always slightly worried that it might turn into jelly.
Just a huge-shaped...
If you drank a glass of water, it would sort of go...
Split apart and there'd be a huge-shaped jelly there. That's the biggest jelly baby in the world.
I also did point out to you that you also said you had brown bread sandwiches. Do you mean like 2 slices of brown bread with a slice of brown bread?
You have to.
I mean, how can packed lunches have only 1% of the nutritional requirement of a school dinner? What are people putting in these packed lunches? Is it like a large sandwich and a sugar cube? And I think some of the kids must be so stupid they're actually eating the plastic box.
I thought parents have more control.
Oh, no, but they do. The problem is parents do have control. Every time they try and solve this problem, the parents get in the way. When Jamie Oliver tried it, right, tried to get rid of turkey twizzlers, put healthy food in schools, so mum's at the school gate passing packets of chips through to their children. If you want to solve this problem, it's not a policy thing. Just make the railings thinner so they can't shove the massive hand... Sandra, you're going to have to put your face right up and eat a feed into your individual. You know which kids it was? They're going after lunch with shiny lips and 2 rust lines down the face.
I have to, you're making an excellent point, but you said turkey twizzlers. I genuinely thought you said when they tried to get rid of Turkish prisoners. Why are Turkish prisoners feeding children in school?
Because they are getting their
for the rest of that for the whole thing, I was going, well, one of them is called Sandra.
And that really is the clue as to the likelihood that I didn't actually say that.
Yeah, I suppose. You put it that way, it makes more sense.
They're suggesting that teachers should eat with the kids. But the thing is that, you know, a lot of teachers do currently eat with the kids, although it's usually in the form of a romantic meal, isn't it?
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas, DVD owner.
And it's Nationality. Who wants to go with us?
Hello. I'm of mixed heritage, actually. I talk like a Canadian, but I tolerate my partner's drinking like an Irish girl. I travel a lot, from London to Ireland, and anyone who's flown Heathrow to Cork knows that on your way to the plane, they have signs reminding you how many chances you've got left to get drunk. They're like 6 licensed shops, 2 shops, 1 shop. It's like, what? Before I board an aircraft filled with wine to get to the land of Guinness? And the final shop is right at the gate. And in that shop, there's a sign that says, no ID, no sale. And I'm like, this is an international airport. How about no ID? How'd you get on the plane? It is in the boarding lounge, If a terrorist manages to sneak through levels of security at the world's busiest international airport, give him a pint.
Thank you very much, Catherine Ryan. OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with, Milton. Let's spin the wheel. Transport is the topic.
So I've got my own private jet. The rest of the jacuzzi belongs to my mum. If you've got a satnav, don't put the name of the company you're visiting into it. I tried to take some mayonnaise back the other day. I ended up in Helmand Province. I mean, I've got a car, but there's nothing I like better than making a bonfire on the passenger seat. Driving up and down, opening and shutting the electric sunroof and pretending to be a steam train. My uncle, he was a taxi driver, but then one day he left home without any indication. So recently, I was fell walking in the Lake District. Well, it's not quite true. Recently, I fell walking in the Lake District. I was going to tell someone, but the pillar box was full of sugar puffs.
Thank you very much, Milton. OK, that round. Pause over in. Come on, get back up.
This is the news that IPSA review body has proposed a rise in MPs' pay to around £74,000 a year, an increase of 9% on their current salary of around £66,000. Should they get a pay rise?
No.
Why?
Well, because it's easy for me to score points with the audience by saying no.
OK.
£8 hardly enough to put a secret love child through private school.
Well, it's not like football, is it? In football, you have to stop other countries nicking your best players. It's not like other governments trying to nick our politicians, is it? Cameron's going to be out like, I've said no to Spain, they can't have Gove. Do you know what I mean? They're trying to buy him.
I feel quite sorry for MPs, because people all think that all MPs are money-grabbing bastards. But they're not all money-grabbing.
Ed Miliband has said that he's going to stop any Labour MPs having a second job by the next election. But, of course, by then, a lot of them won't have a first job, will they?
They get 15 quid a day food allowance for lunch.
Yes, they do. And
that's like free Subway sandwiches. That's free footlongs. That's 36-inch of sandwich. That is too much for anyone. You can wear it as a belt.
George Osborne looks like he could take 36 inches.
I don't think the voucher is exclusively for Subway.
That's what I've been told.
Yeah. So it's just like, this is only redeemable at the Parliament Subway. And the queue is really long. This is one Subway guy making
It's the travel stuff, right? They're being restricted on taxis. They're not going to be allowed to use taxis anymore. Not going to be allowed to use taxis. Where are Tory MPs going to get their ideas if they're not allowed to take taxis? David Cameron is so basically like a taxi driver. I'm surprised he doesn't stand with his back to the dispatch box going, I'll tell you the country's problem. It's immigration. That's the problem with this country.
They never have proper second jobs, do they? It's always like a posh sort of business role. It's never just like... Because I used to work in a market and in a pub. Do you know what I mean? Like, my dad used to be a carpet fitter and on the dole. Do you know what I mean? They've always got posh...
Now we play a round called Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. This game involves Lucy, Greg, Andy and Russell, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performers' stand-up skills. We spin our news generator, it settles on a topic, and anyone can volunteer jokes about the chosen subject. The winners are the people I judge to produce the funniest stuff. That is just against nature. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. OK, the first topic is Britain. Who wants to come in on that?
Yes, I love Britain. Do you? Kind of. I think Britain's amazing, but I think we're quite hard on ourselves. Like, if you go to America and you do shows, they always get this thing where you go on stage in America, like in Chicago, and you say, oh, so what's Chicago like? And they go nuts. They go, woo, yeah, Chicago, woo, 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 for about a day. And then you come back over to Britain and you go to somewhere like Birmingham and you say, oh, so what's Birmingham like? And they all go, oh, it's a bit shit. I live in London, in Britain. I live in Kentish Town, which is lovely because it is actually like a Kentish town. Unfortunately, the town in Kent it's like is Maidstone, which is crap. North London's quite posh, though, because there's a hairdresser's near us, which is called the Elysian Fields Hairdressers. Oh, it's where heroic hair goes to die. Where I used to live in South London, the hairdresser was called We're Going to Cut You, Slag.
Thank you very much, Mr. Porter. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is sport. Who wants to come in on that?
So, hey, Freddie Flintoff, how drunk would he have been on Monday night? That's all I've got on that one. We have got a great new British hope for our sport, though. Laura Robson, Britain's tennis, 15 years old, both her parents Australian. We don't mind immigration when they've got a bit of talent. We object to people sneaking into Britain on a rubber dinghy unless they can do it really bloody quickly.
Thank you very much, Ali Parsons. OK, that leaves us with Greg and Russell. Let's spin the wheel. The next topic is education. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
I remember school being fun. I think my favourite moment ever in life, pretty much. There was a girl in our school called Lydia. She was trying to make her calculator work. She was repeatedly knocking it against a desk. And after about an hour, our teacher went, Lydia! How would you like it if I banged you against the desk? It's the greatest day of school. But now it's more sinister, isn't it? Like, they're now talking about teaching 5-year-olds sex education. Of course, people are very angry. It's disgusting! It's too much! Like, calm down. Not going to teach them technique. Right, this is how I like to do it, kids. That's right. Kids aren't going to run home, put dolls around a toy car and go, look, Mum, they're dogging, they're dogging. It's going to be some poor teacher trying to talk to 5-year-olds about love. Can you imagine a harder job? Hello, children. I'm here to teach you about love. Good luck with that, mate. I'm off to lick that tree.
Thank you very much. Russell. OK, Greg, let's see what topic you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is the human body.
I have to tell you that being a tall man in this country is tedious, ladies and gentlemen. Tedious, because in small towns throughout the country, there are a series of jokes prepared by the locals on our behalf. I'll be walking innocently into a local pub or down the street, and I'll get several jokes. One of the jokes might be this. Just to give you an example of the level we're talking about. Another joke might be, what's the weather like up there? It's freezing. There's a massive climate change in this amount of space here. You toothless buffoon. Probably the most offensive example of this is genuine. I was at a cash point and there was a little old woman in front of me at the cash point tapping away with her claws and... I'm sorry, I'm just quite angry about this. And when she'd finished, bless her heart, she turned around and she hadn't seen me. She turned around and she went like this. Oh! Maybe not that sexually. She said, oh! And then with no hint of irony at all, she asked me this question. Would you like a job at my house, changing light bulbs? No. No, old woman. I have plans of my own. Now, get out of the way of the cash point. 20 minutes is long enough for you to have worked out that that's a Tesco club card.
Thank you very much, Greg. At the end of that round, the points go to Greg and Lucy. Unlikely things to hear in a science programme.
1643. The cold air balloon is invented. But it doesn't really take off.
For Einstein, it was easy to choose a DJ name. He would be MC squared.
Hello, I'm Dr. Gillian McKeith, and today I'll be sifting through your poop. Why? Because I was never hugged as a child.
Now on 5, crop circles, myth or bollocks?
Next, to demonstrate chaos theory, we've locked Boris Johnson in a room with an aardvark and some magic mushrooms.
I was the man who discovered DNA. I wasn't going to call it that, but I was giving a lecture to the Royal Society, and I said, gentlemen, I believe I've discovered the genetic fingerprint of all human life. Ta-da!
I've been Richard Dawkins. Good night and God bless. Shit!
Thanks to carbon dating, this skeleton is now going out with a short-sighted geology student who likes thin people that don't talk much.
1891. Sir Alexander Graham Benn receives the first wrong number telephone call.
He realised that this equation was going to take him absolutely years. So he switched to a media studies course, which was a piece of piss.
I did have here a pie chart to demonstrate obesity.
Apart from the human, the only animal to enjoy having sex is the dolphin. I had to shag a lot of animals to find that out.
I'm a meerkat, she's not lying.
Tonight we'll be discussing molecular science. Our guests are Sir Patrick Moore, Robert Winston and Dappy off of N-Dubs.
With their tiny arms, could the T-Rex self-pleasure? Let's find out in another edition of Wanking with Dinosaurs.
At the end of that round, the points go to Russell, Holly and Andy. Unlikely things to hear on Question Time.
Allow me to answer your question with a question. Why don't you fuck off?
I'm going to take a question from a black man without mentioning that he's black. The man in the red jumper, please.
Do I believe the economy's in recession? Well, I believe it was Churchill who said, "Oh, yeah."
David Dimbleby, you haven't answered a question all night. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
A good question there. Is the BBC dumbing down? What do you think, Barry Chuckle?
Yes, my question is for Delilah. Why?
Welcome to Question Time, coming to you this week live from Spearmint Rhino.
Question time. Tonight we're in Norwich. Let's say hello to the audience. Look, men from Magic Picture Box. Go speaky, speaky.
Is the wrong answer, Charles Clark. Take off an item of clothing.
So, good question. Gordon Brown, why don't you shove your tax increases up your arse?
If your dog isn't here, Mr. Blunkett, who's sniffing my balls?
I have a question for Boris Johnson. Do you know where you are?
Is Britain becoming more misogynist? Let's ask this bitch.
At the end of that round, the points go to Russell, Ed and Andy. OK, your category is media. The answer is 600 metres. What is the question?
Is it, if Kelvin Mackenzie was to do a bungee jump from a height of 500 metres, what length rope should he be given?
Is it, in fact, what head start would I need if I was competing against Usain Bolt in the 100 metres?
Is it simpler than that? Is it how big are some trees, Dara?
No trees are simpler.
Is it how far is the Queen's bed from her ensuite bathroom?
How far away can Boris Johnson smell of custard cream?
Is it, in fact, how far can the Proclaimers walk now?
Is it at what distance is Theresa May attractive?
None of the rest of us could do that. Good to have you on board.
Is it when kicking Chris Brown in the bollocks, exactly how long a run-up should you take?
Is it proportionally, if a clown's nose was the size of Dara's head, how long would his shoes be?
So mean. Is it how long was the longest runner bean ever grown at the Fukushima nuclear plant?
In fact, how long would your penis be if all the products in the spam emails worked?
Is it what is the delivery radius of a relatively unambitious pizza company?
Start with a round call. If this is the answer, what is the question? On the board are 6 categories. Zoe, which category would you like?
Politics, please.
OK, your category is politics. The answer is 50%. What is the question?
What is the name of 50 Cent's mathematician brother?
Is it what does Heather Mills save on IMAC?
What is the most you'll have to pay for a sofa at DFS?
What is a bad answer to the phrase, how much do you love me?
Is it the percentage of Ant and Dec that is forehead?
Is it you're a 19-year-old Glaswegian male, how much of your life is left?
Is it if I entered an orgy covered in Marmite, what would be my success rate? But to be honest,
I always find that when people say, oh, I'm a Marmite kind of person, people either love me or hate me. They're always people that everybody hates.
Is it how much of Silvio Berlusconi is made of oil?
Is it what percentage of the population, rather than a TV debate, would like to see Cameron and Brown have a cage fight?
I would love to see that.
So would I.
Yeah. Who would win that?
I would imagine Brown.
Yeah,
Brown. He's got moves.
He's also got that dislocatable jaw.
Yeah, he can actually swallow your whole.
He could swallow you.
He can actually take a jaw down.
Imagine that. Wouldn't that be incredible? If Cameron ran towards you.
Is it what was the proportion of cats that died during the making of my ill-fated television pilot, Cat versus Bleach?
It would be 100%, surely. Do we have an answer that we can do?
I think it's what percentage of the top jobs in the Labour Party does Harriet Harman think should be filled by women?
You're absolutely right. Very good. Well done, Hugh. Thank you very much.